My official school report today was quite interesting. So here we go. Morning period, zero period was successful. I was able to wake up early and I got to school dressed up and on a good stomach. I was full and I already ate breakfast. I was so early to the point that the breakfast cafeteria wasn't open yet. In this case, not many people were here, so I decided between joining a single girl that was at a table, another random person near the wet benches, or maybe there's a three-person friend group right a little further down, right at the end of the door. I became hesitant because there's a lot of people to join. There are many places I could choose to go. I also had to face the risk that if many of these people are drifters, and they could disappear the next day and like not tell me where they'd be and would leave. I was afraid then also. I also faced the risk is that if I waste all that time that I woke up early for by simply hesitating. So my mind pulled me to multiple places. The empty benches with a girl, the other one with a friend group that's sitting down near wet benches, and calculating all of the possible possibilities. I didn't join the first available one because I was looking for a constant. A constant in my definition was a place and a group, a friend group, and hang out with them anytime during the morning, for example. Basically, a constant means it's a friend group that you could find with, join with every day, and they'll tell you like where they'll be going from time to time, especially for the morning period. The thing is, in the morning, there's too much social turnout, and people drift both in the library, the tables outside, and even on the benches that are locally there. So I had to decide where to go. I took up a large portion of the time because I was fighting on two distinct fronts. The hesitation of analysis because we have a lot of friend groups we could join in, but they also have that risk and that they could just drift away. Having to break that fear that once we select the friend group to go to, we gotta break that too. So that takes up a lot of time. And for an introvert like me, that takes time relative to other friends that I've talked to before who seamlessly integrate. Especially when I'm looking for is that we're looking for a permanent constant, like a friend group that you could find with and hang out with during the morning period, for example. And not just drift from place to place without telling, is what I'd also add. I may have looked like I've lingered in and out of places constantly, but that was my mind calculating the risk of what friend group to join, what's going to happen. I am not looking for romance. I'm not looking for the extravagant, loud talking or extrovert groups, so I visited some before. I'm just finding a constant where we could attach and, call it home. That's the definition of like a constant. What hesitated me are many factors. The first one is social turnout. You could join a friend group, but they're not going to be there the next day at least without telling you. People keep moving around. They're like social targets. People move from place to place. I've already faced that with lunch groups before. Third fear, my own fear just to approach a group in itself. That also adds up upfront cost. And obviously social friction. It always happens generally within the school social system. Risking that I refuse to be in a group where I think I won't be integrated. Then that leaves me under a lot of cold weather for a long time until we find yet another group. I also hesitated joining a group because as I waited, more and more people join. As people come to school earlier in the morning, it follows an exponential like curve because more people as we approach the bell, there's more and more people, even though it's unevenly distributed. It follows that curve. I was fearing to join this type of friend group, and I don't like big groups. And I know I should have joined earlier while the friend group was still small, but that next fear about social friction itself already took up a lot of my own time. A lot of people don't face my difficulty because they're not thinking about it or they already have established groups. Fear is already distributed. But for me, I gotta pay it upfront with all of its costs. My parents are much too complex and they would not care. Same way they make an argument whenever I talk about stress. And I'm eventually fighting against my own inertia, social inertia. And eventually I was able to break the fear, but then it was a little too late. Time ran out and I was able to initiate a short mutual pequeño conversation. But by then, the 3 group person became a 10 group person. And I only had like 3 minutes left and it was fragmented. I was initiating a conversation with a few boys and girls, but they eventually switched to other people. Another girl that I remember from an old art club that I was in, she came in, but the thing is, she eventually blocked my direct conversational access to the other girl and then the other boys. I lightly tried to nudge her to the side with a little bit of a conversation, but she reinserted herself after answering, preventing direct communication with the other people. Was this successful for me psychologically? Yes, I did get other people's names, I did talk to them, though I would call this a bare bones victory, meaning I did not find a constant friend group, but I broke the fear again. And the last thing that I would say here to that girl is that to the one that did end up blocking my direction, if you remember me, I would say to you, whether you see this video now, 1 year or 10 years from now, I just say, don't block my way next time. For anyone, just as much as they respect their own boundaries, I gotta also enforce mine with equal weight if you get my drift. And obviously, to the others I was talking with, credit to you guys, to anyone who can remember. And I believe there was one name that I do remember, Mia. I tentatively give you credit also, though I hesitated way too much in actually initiating a complete conversation. And then again, as I switched periods from 0 to 1, credit to the 2 girls who speak Spanish. You guys waved at me as I passed to my next period. I'm not sure where you guys are, but oh well. Now, first period class, this went quite interesting. The teacher is no longer doing group activities and we're not sitting like within people. We're all just put in like one-seater charts at this point. I hesitated, but I want to sit someone near that's talked to me before. The teacher went on a rant on how all the freshmen in this class are terrible and why they're the reason that we simply don't want to be in groups anymore. As he was saying it, I sat near the person that I wanted to have a talk with later on. But when the teacher announced side to side, back to back, front to front partner quizzes, they ended up moving. So that left me dead center right in the middle. And I hesitated to tell the teacher that I wanted to switch back, but I'll just accept it as it is. I would call this a defeat in this case because they're probably socially scared anyway, and that's okay. But the teacher did announce that we have another chapter test relating to it on Friday. So that kind of sucks right there, but then again, it's not that person's fault necessarily, since this is high school, of course they'd be scared anyway. Second period, this was PE, so the PE attendant got confused if we were going to the gym for our daily 15-minute break or some students were inside the locker room before. So he allowed me and one other to change out early since we were already inside. My shoes were untied, but I realized I went through the wrong hole, so I ended up fixing it. Basically, you only have like 15 minutes before PE starts to work on whatever you want to. I ended up going to the locker room first, and then attendant let us do it, so oh well. PE class, I didn't know why I hesitated because I did want to talk to this one girl who did look like she was lonely. She was sitting down alone. There was another boy too, but he was in a group. And what let me down is that I held a short conversation while at the benches with some others, but I think I let it go for a little too long. I was distracted with the basketball game since someone accidentally threw a ball at the teacher as a result of people playing with it. And now another rare thing. There was another girl who had my attention. She seemed to be wanting something, but I ignored her because she was actually talking to her group, so I misinterpreted that sign right there. It also blew me down to thinking in that why did I not just move around and talk to the girl that was sitting alone? So I think that's why I think I hesitated a little too much and I got too distracted with the basketball game. So, third period, I learned about wildfires in our state and how people got affected by it. They said that a lot of the fires are produced by human activity and mistakes. As a mini prediction, I'm gonna bet on PNG Power, the company that's in my state. As the winds increase, I bet that there's gonna be another fire as a result that's going to occur, and they're going to get sued as a result of it, even if they had association or not. I bet you that there's gonna be a wildfire that's gonna occur sometime soon, within months, but not years or like next year. I'm also betting yes that there will be a wildfire that's going to occur, but it's not gonna be as bad as like the Palisades or maybe the one that happened this year, but something's going to happen, I predict. Now, remember yesterday, Chad, I sent a very funny email to my partner and told her for the Socratic seminar that she has to fill out a very few questions. Well, the handle that I put in that school email that I sent her, she actually found this account, so now we're moving to third person this time. Big credit if you're watching the video right now. I know that you don't speak English as well, so I'll be speaking for the Socratic seminar presentation in front of your class most of the time. I have the skill here, so I'm going to apply to school. So we finna gonna get F still because I am really not prepared anyway, let's be honest. Yes, I did put quirky insert outro music, quote unquote, in my email as if it was a video. It was Markiplier's outro music, by the way, just to make it look odd and quirky by nature. So, yeah, other than that, most of the period I worked on math and finished up some other assignments since I already did most of the assignment yesterday for that prep assignment. Fourth period, I did not memorize notes, but this time we did a competitive review where two team leaders separated and picked random people to be on their team. The teacher calmed everyone down and said that during the game, the team that seems to be behind eventually wins, as he saw and predicted with last period. Surprisingly, I was picked first as one of the contestants and I got the first question right. But the thing is in that other times, the other team was generally faster. I decided to go up a second time, but I ended up failing three times in a row, so I had to go back in defeat. Even though the team got very much ahead with my failures. I decided to, after that, I supplied the next contestants with the answers when we were giving the chance. Some win, some lose. I got some answers wrong. But what I find odd is that my teacher's prediction was correct. Our team actually won, even though we were so many points behind. The last person, I guess, I clicked it faster, and we won before. But overall, we were about to lose, but we just barely claimed ourselves back. It was also a simple question. The last question was asking what was the name that Benito Mussolini gave to a election city that's in Italy. I believe it was the Vatican, so we're gonna leave it as that. Lunch period, I decided to do two things. I can spend the entire lunch period with the same senior friend to hang out with, or maybe since it was raining, we could try to find and talk to another random friend group. The thing is, rain dampens the social interior. The same tables that get wet, people move to the gym or elsewhere. So I did look in many places, but many of the friend groups were still there. They're so superficial, and some didn't really catch my drift. And it was not raining as much, so the gym wasn't open. Instead, I decided to just hang with the senior friend after for the rest half of the lunch. Credits if you're watching this, the one from lunch. And yes, my pants were super wet because it was like raining all around. Now, fifth period, I bet the teacher my phone that students would be late, but she didn't let me do the bet, sadly. Later on in the class, she stopped us from working because we were doing like sophomore registration for classes next year that we're going to take as a junior. She landed through the same basics. Yes, we got to navigate through the school portal, log into the school district site, and help others. She also had some humor moments back at the boys, and one where she was talking about AP English and how she said, "You guys are not ready for that class yet." And some did end up laughing. Though my work got delayed, this was also a reminder to me in that this school time is running out. I do want to make memories. I do want to find a place, and my time is also running out within this school. Every time a new interaction you could guess is kind of like a time against the clock of my own high school mortality. And I'm not gonna be a sophomore forever. I'm not gonna be a junior forever. I'm not gonna be a senior forever. Truth is, I can always make memories when I graduate after high school. But right now, as I'm still a sophomore, I should still make efforts to try to make memories for people and with people. Now, I should find a friend group soon as a result of that thinking, and obviously fill that in for morning and maybe the afternoon. It's a reminder too that I also got my Link Crew Leader application tomorrow. As I've displayed for it, you guys know that I am ready, as you've seen from these videos before, and maybe if you're a long time fan, my old FNAF security breach videos, which I'll link at the end if you guys want to look at that. But just that fear, as always, of like talking to new people, so that's going to be in the interview also. Sixth period, I had to do math here, and the boys had some funny moments. One answered in humorous ways as a substitute taught us how to evaluate square roots. I already completed it, so I just used an AI tool for research for another assignment and finished up a no ready assignment. Those grammar sites are complicated sometimes. So, dismissal. I talked yet with the same senior girl and reconnected with her about lessons I haven't talked with her for a long time. You know what's been going on in our own lives. And it went time for me. It went really fast and it went fine most of the time. The thing is that I've been deciding that as a result of the conversation, I should probably go back to the public library in my local town to maybe meet a bunch of other people outside my high school. I'll plan that soon since I haven't continued that in a long time. Now, there's one friend that I haven't quite put a promise back on that I'd meet her on Thursday next week, about like a month ago. So I'll make sure. I hope she's there next Thursday, maybe. Tomorrow, I'm gonna be waking up early to try again. Try to find another friend group. If anyone wants to talk to me early in the morning, please come right at 7:20 at zero period and before it starts, and maybe try to find me. I'd still be looking around anyway, to be honest. Cueing the outro music. Wait, new word chat is outroduction. Big credits, this is just shoutouts at this point. Big credits goes to silent friends such as Fistral at my school, even though I said that name wrong. Luke, who is my friend at a different school. By the way, tell Anna I said hello and Lily if she's still there. Credit to other people such as Ray Yan and the other senior girl I talk to sometimes at lunch. Like a Patreon donator list, thanks to one of my former friends, Ella, who I used to play Roblox with, but sadly they got age verification now. Credit to Kuya Jaja, Filipino cousin's relative to my family physician, and one other friend who used to have a red profile picture and does not want their name to be named. Credit to you also. I do send you those reels very often. And this one's very odd. The Filipino family taxi driver that moves us around wherever we go on trips to the Philippines for any specified reason. Very specific request, but credit to Tammy. Thanks for watching, chat. I'll see you guys in the next video, even though this is not one of my gaming videos. If anyone watching now wants to see one of my old gaming videos when I tried to become like a gaming YouTuber, but I stopped because there's too much effort, I'll link it in the description as I repeat for like the second time. Alright, y'all. Bye bye. See you guys in the next video.